Hey YouTube, long time no see, Melon FPS here. Today I'm finally getting around to doing my video on Splitgate settings and what you should run in your game to have the best performance and the best competitive advantage. Now, preface, this is not the be-all, end-all, best settings of all time. These are just what I have found to be the best ones over my 2 years of playing, and what seem to be the most applicable to every platform. Now, I will not be covering console, primarily because I don't play on console and I don't know anything about it. So I'm sorry, console players, but hey, stick around, you may find some useful information in this video. But hey, before we get into it, please go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing full-time content on YouTube here from now on, so if you want to see more stuff from me, hit that sub button, hit a like on the video, and we'll see some more videos in the near future. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. However, if you do have any questions on why I'm recommending you set something to a certain value, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I just don't want the video to be too long with me explaining technical stuff. So let's go ahead and go to video settings. You're going to want to set display mode to full screen, resolution to the resolution of the monitor you're using. For me, it's 1920 by 1080. Resolution scale, leave this at 100. FOV will default to 90. I highly recommend you bump this up to 103 as the extra 13 degrees of field of view is very useful. Keep in mind though, this may affect your sensitivity a little bit, so be sure to compensate and up your sensitivity just a little bit because of the FOV change. Frame limit, set this to be about 40 to 60 FPS above your frame rate cap on your monitor. So for example, I'm running a 144 Hz display. I have mine set to 200 just to help keep a consistent frame. VSync, turn this off. Now for quality, you basically want to leave everything on low except for view distance, portal quality, and portal frame rate. Those are the only three things I leave on Epic. They just help you when looking through portals and seeing long distance enemies. They're not pixelated and that kind of thing. Now, under accessibility, sometimes enemies are kind of hard to see with the way the game is very glowy and red tends to blend in pretty well. So go ahead and test these out and see if you can find a setting that helps you see the enemies a little better. I leave it on default and I leave it at 0.5 strength, but play around with it and see what works best for you. Alrighty, now gameplay settings are pretty straightforward. Basically, you just want to put this to your preferred input, keyboard KDM for me. Kill cam, leave it always on, and then blood, I find it very distracting, so I turn it off, but totally up to you, personal preference entirely. Alright, now into mouse and keyboard settings. Now, this is all pretty much all personal preference, so just set this to whatever you feel most comfortable with. In regards to keybinds, there's a lot of options. Now, I personally leave all my keybinds default, where you have Q and E as Z and C or X for the portals. A lot of people do change that to other things, though. For example, I know a lot of people have portals open and close on their mouse wheel for up and down. Other people have this on the side buttons on their mouse. Really comes down to personal preference. I find you can portal just as fast using Q and E, but again, other people say differently. So this is, again, all personal preference. Just set this to be what you normally set all of your settings to be. Alright, skipping over controller, we go straight to audio settings. Now, set this pretty much all to be whatever your personal preference is. I personally turn the music and the announcer volume completely off because I find them distracting. And then also I reduce the ambient volume. These won't do too much, but if you find you can't hear footsteps or hear enemies over the announcer's voice, I'd recommend you turn these off. Go ahead and you can go down to voice chat, set your personal preferences for all this stuff as well. I'd leave proximity chat on just because it's fun to hear the salty kids complain when you kill them, so be sure to leave that on. Now, under UI, I would recommend you would check the Show FPS button just to make sure you can easily diagnose if you're having performance problems. I turn off subtitles entirely, show damage numbers, as these are very useful, especially competitively speaking for callouts. You can turn this on if you want. I leave it off. It's muscle memory for me at this point, but if you want to leave it on, you can go ahead and do that. I turn off sprint crosshair. There's no movement error in this game, so I wouldn't even bother with that. Crosshair color, set this to whatever you're comfortable with. I will say, though, I generally recommend people to change the enemy crosshair color to be something that is not red, which is what it defaults to. I'd set it to a light blue or a yellow or green, something that stands off very well from red, because red on red obviously blends in very well together. And then under crosshairs themselves, go ahead and find something that you're comfortable with. The default ones are okay, but I find them very big and very distracting. So go ahead and go through the list and find out whichever one works best for you. I would personally recommend you do dot, crosshair small, or crosshair small 2. Those are the three I tend to use the most, but again, depending on your aiming style, you may find something that you like a little more. Alrighty, and lastly we have privacy settings. Now here you can disable crossplay if you are on PC. You can do this, however, you tend to get a lot more bot games and it will disallow you from queuing for ranked. And your queue times are generally going to be a lot longer, so I would have just leave this on. Anonymous mode and hide player names. If you're a streamer or a content creator, I highly, highly, highly recommend you put these on. You know how arena shooters are. Kids are toxic. This could be helpful if you're running into problems with stream snipers and that kind of stuff. And then also social privacy, you can enable party chat only. I never use this, but if the option is there if you want it. Alright, and there we have it. Those are my settings for Splitgate. I hope this video helped you out, and if you do have any problems, or if you have any more in-depth questions about why I have certain settings certain ways, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'll try and help as many people as I can. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me a lot. I am transitioning from Twitch to YouTube content, probably full-time in the next coming months. So I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this and a lot more montages. So if you want to see more content from me and you enjoy it and you want to support, leaving likes on the videos and subscribing to the channel is a huge help. So thank you very much in advance for any of you who do that. And again, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll try and answer as many as I can. But aside from that, best of luck in the arena, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.